today, as of recording this, it is February 12th, and today Trump just freaking announced that, he's in talks with Putin. He's trying to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine as quickly as possible, which on paper sounds wonderful, except that basically his Secretary of Defense, I believe, announced that basically their terms for peace, their peace proposal is Ukraine does not get to get into NATO. Russia gets to keep everything that it held from 2014, which includes Crimea, large portions of Donbass. And that's the starting point. And, they also said the United States is not going to be sending any troops to try and reinforce things. And Trump's signed a deal for $500 billion worth of Ukrainian natural resources in order to supposedly keep helping and arming them. But he's doing this at the same time. He's having conversations with Putin without Zelensky involved. And obviously that upsets me. And I get that a lot of you guys could not give less of a shit about Ukraine on this channel. But guess what? I do. It's my channel. Deal with it or skip the video. That's fine too. I'm going to talk about a lot of different things on this channel. Unfortunately right now, Trump and geopolitics have to take front and center stage because that's what's happening in the world. That's where my focus is. I'm probably going to be talking about some different things with Christianity and religion and deconstruction soon. So be ready for that because I've got some topics that I also want to talk about there, but I have to talk about this one today. It's probably not going to get posted today, but I want to talk about it today because I'm processing it. I'm processing that essentially from the perspective of Ukrainians, from my perspective, the perspective of Ukraine's allies, and basically what it looks like is that Trump has chosen to side with Russia, with Putin. His tweets, his dialogue, his interviews, what his people are saying, all suggests that he's going to try and give Russia everything it wants in order to reach a fast ceasefire without asking Ukraine about it. There's no guarantee that this, awful, shitty deal is even going to go through because Ukraine is a sovereign nation. As much as people like to say that Ukraine is little Russia, all of that nonsense that we have heard for years. And if you're not educated on what's actually going on, if you haven't talked to Ukrainians for years, you might believe that nonsense. But Ukraine is, in fact, a sovereign nation. It, in fact, is a democracy. It is not overrun with Nazis. It is not full of U.S. biolabs. I'm trying to think what the other fucking bullshit that has been spread about it. There's been so much. But regardless, I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about the direction our country is going. My last couple of videos have unfortunately had to be around Donald motherfucking Trump and all of the bullshit that he is doing. He fucking changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I am not calling it the Gulf of America. That's some bullshit. It's the fucking Gulf of Mexico. It has been for hundreds of years. What the fuck, Donald? And meanwhile, grocery prices continue to rise. Eggs are fucking expensive. He has not at all addressed that campaign promise, but he has done all sorts of other shit that I talked about in my last video. Whoa, I almost knocked my fucking chair over. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, so I'm, it's a lot. And trying to figure out how to process this and maintain some form of mental sanity is very, very difficult. I made the foolish mistake of reactivating my Twitter account for a couple days and really got myself into another tailspin. I was thinking, some pretty harmful, pretty destructive thoughts. I just deactivated it a few minutes ago again, trying to deactivate my Twitter. The thing that I hate about Twitter is that there's no option to just delete it. You have to deactivate it, and that gives you 30 days to let that little addiction itch come back in. And I made it 20 fucking days without being on Twitter, and then I fucking jumped back on, and it was a terrible decision. So hopefully this time I can make it like the 30 or 31 days and be done with it. And it won't come back. I had an account banned, so it doesn't let me create a new one unless I get super fancy with VPNs and bullshit, and I'm just not fucking with that. So this is a very, very rambly thought. And honestly, what I would love to do is like have one more structured thought a week and then have a rambly thought, like a thought that's just more like a fucking stream of conscious like this, where I literally just talk about whatever's on my mind, rather that's Trump, rather that's Ukraine, rather that's immigration, rather that's something great that's happening in my life, rather that's something terrible that's happening in my life, rather that's my dog, rather I just want to fucking talk about coffee or, my favorite coffee brand or whatever, just have a very stream of consciousy Brian chat, like maybe on Mondays or something like that. And then on Thursdays have something that's a little bit more structured, a little bit hopefully more helpful, more kind of in that educational kind of way. I'm not sure that that's what I'm going to be able to actually do, but I think that that would be really fun. I think that would be really, really interesting. And I think that that could be the direction that if this channel continues to grow, that I want to move it into, is like 2 videos a week. One that's, a little bit more like this for people who really want to know what's going on in my brain. And then something that's maybe a little bit more helpful, more educational, like, talking about habits I'm developing that are helping me, or some very, very valuable books that I'm reading that have helped me, or, whatever kind of more structured educational research thing that I've done, or, something about religion that's a little bit more structured. I'm not sure. Again, I don't know that this is going to go that way, because even keeping up with 1 video a week right now is tough. So it might be sometimes it's more structured, sometimes it's not. Right now it's not. But we will see. We will see what direction I go. But really, that's my random thoughts for the day. This is the thoughts of Brian. Thank you if you listened to my random thoughts that were genuinely all freaking over the place. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.